Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome your host for the evening, Mr. David Cruz.
Good evening, buenas noches. Isn't that music beautiful? No te enamoras de nuevo, you get married again. El trío Los Príncipes, gracias. Thank you so much. What a beautiful venue. Can you imagine when the developer first arrived here and looked out upon that valley, what he envisioned? And I wonder if that's the way an organization like the one we're celebrating tonight begins. You go into a community and you think, not what is there, but what could happen if we work together. Is that possible? ¿Qué dicen ustedes? 20 years. Yes, that is the vision. The 20th anniversary celebration of the Ventura County Community Development Corporation. And here's the theme that you've been watching all evening, leading people home. This event and the awards ceremony is so special, and we're glad that you're here with us tonight to celebrate it. Un aplauso para ustedes, for yourselves. You see, tonight not only looks back at the history of this organization, it also is introducing something new. 3 legacy awards established on behalf of original board members, those who started at the very beginning, and presenting these awards to 3 individuals and organizations who are very actively tonight, through their work, their effort, their ideals, making this community even better. What a combination.
Good evening to everyone here tonight to celebrate VCCD's 20 years of service to our community. On behalf of Bank of the Sierra's 500 employees and 10,000 customers, we're pleased to be tonight's title sponsor. We value greatly the relationship Bank of the Sierra enjoys with Bertha and VCCDC, and we look forward to another 20-year together.
Also tonight, please help me welcome warmly, and I want to introduce Mr. Ted Schneider, VCCDC's Vice Chair on the Board of Directors. Ted.
During these 2 decades, we have seen ebbs and flows and faced significant challenges. Yet VCCDC has conquered all of these hurdles in order to live out our mission, which is to strengthen and sustain vibrant communities by empowering individuals and families to build wealth through education and home ownership, with a primary focus on serving low to moderate income clients. We are overcomers. Our organization and our clients are overcomers. Not long ago in VCCD's history, this organization faced a true test of its mettle when we became a fully independent, self-governing organization. This was a difficult transition period for the organization, but with Bertha and her staff and this amazing board of directors and their dedication, VCCDC has become the leader and trusted source in our community for homeownership assistance and education. And as a tribute to reaching this year's 2-decade milestone, we are launching 3 new legacy awards named after original VCCDC board members whose inspiration and dedication has helped us to become the influential and impactful organization that we are today. We will also present awards to community leaders who have shown endurance and resiliency, helping others accomplish their dreams of owning their own homes. Thank you one and all for helping us to celebrate this momentous occasion for our organization this evening.
Let me welcome tonight our State Treasurer, Fiona Ma. Fiona, welcome.
So just a little bit about me. I am the oldest daughter of immigrant parents. My parents wanted us to be one of the lead professions, a lawyer, engineer, accountant, or a doctor growing up. And because I was good at math, they decided I should be an accountant. So I went to undergrad, got my bachelor's in accounting, started my professional career with one of the big 8 accounting firms, and got my master's in taxation, and my parents were really, really proud of me. Many people did not think I was going to win for elected office, but in 20 years, I won Board of Supervisors, State Assembly, State Board of Equalization, and now I am the treasurer of the 5th largest economy. 20 years ago, people doubted me, just like they doubted Bertha. When Bertha and Rodney wanted to start VCCDC, people said, it'll never work. Why are you going to help these people? They're not going to come. You're not going to be able to get them in homes. But 20 years later, they proved everybody wrong by being persistent, by being caring about the community, and just believing that home ownership is the great equalizer. It is the American dream. It is how you build equity in our society. And so I am very honored and proud to be here to support Bertha, to thank all of the board members, the bankers who are here. I love seeing all the bankers here. So I thank all of you for all you do every single day. Keep the hope alive. This is going to happen, and we are going to make sure that we are going to provide more homes to more taxpayers, individuals. Thank you.
But you know, the story can be best told by those who have benefited from these services. So I'd like to welcome Will Jones because the story can be told firsthand, the benefit of what happens. Let's just see what Will Jones has to share with us. Will, come on up, my brother. Welcome, Will.
I would like to thank God first and foremost because without him, none of this would be possible. My name is Will Jones, and I was born and raised in Detroit. I moved to California when I was just 16 years old. Not having very much money as an adult, I always worked hard for the things I wanted, and owning a home was always the top of my list. Living in California quickly made me realize how expensive owning a home would be. I made a promise to myself and my son that I would one day and be able to afford a home, something we called our own. I worked long hours just to be able to save money, but it would never seem to be enough. As a single father working full-time jobs, sometimes working multiple jobs, just to be able to provide was difficult, especially with no family help. But I always found a way to make things work. My current living situation was less than ideal for my son and I. Going from friend's house to another and going from couch to couch wasn't something I thought I would ever have to do in my life until I met my realtor, Cynthia. She took me under her wing and helped me through the entire home buying process. She was dedicated and empathized with my situation. I felt like she understood how much it meant to me to be able to provide a space for my children to call their own. Cynthia not only took the time to help me find a place, but also made sure it was something I liked and could afford. Alex Vega also was a great person to have on my team as well during the home buying process. He assured me that he would help get me the best deal possible and provide as much financial assistance he could. He made me feel comfortable and confident in the services he provided. With VCCDC, I was able to get assistance with down payment and closing costs, which took a large burden off my shoulders. Receiving assistance from VCCDC took away the stress of having to come up with a large lump sum of money that I did not have. Now having an affordable home for my children and I has been the biggest blessing I could ever receive. It has made things easier for us to take. It had made things easier for us to take all the worries out of home, trying to find a new couch to sleep on. My children are now able to have their own rooms and have space to run around and be kids. I am grateful to be able to call something my own and know that I'm keeping my promises I made to myself and to my children. My favorite part of my home is the kitchen. I get to spend quality time with my children and cook meals for them. Thanks to you sponsors sponsorships and continued support VCCDC can give opportunity to people like me. They make it possible for the regular people to attain something that they never thought was possible. Owning a home has not only been a dream, but now is a reality. Thank you all for your time and have a blessed night. It was definitely a dream come true. It was from a kid that I grew up with nothing, and I always told my son that you can have whatever you want, just put your mind to it. And I just kept on speaking it into existence, and finally met the right people that made that possible. So it was a blessing.
We're going to have the inaugural 3 awards that are going to happen in the next few minutes, and these are opportunities for us to recognize the work that was done by people before us, the Rodney Fernandez Founders Award, Excellence in Visionary Leadership, Michael McGuire Award for Excellence in Community Partnership, and the Ernest Basquet Jr. Award, Excellence in Community Support.
Ernest Basquet Jr. was the Senior Vice President of Neighborhood Housing Services of America in Oakland, California for 32 years, with experience in urban planning, community development, and in the housing opportunities for low and middle-income households. Ernest was born on April 24, 1944 in Lumpkin, Georgia, the oldest of 3 siblings. He enlisted in the United States Air Force at the age of 17, serving 6 years from 1961 to 1967. Upon his return, Ernest studied at the City College of New York, receiving a bachelor's degree. He continued his education receiving a master's in urban planning from Hunter College in New York. He joined the board of Ventura County Community Development Corporation in 2004, demonstrating his expertise in mortgage financing, his singular vision, and compassion for people in need. Ernest Basquet Jr. died in Galloway, New Jersey on April 25, 2019, at the age of 75. Ernest helped fulfill VCCDC's mission with his skill as a master technician, teacher, and inspirational leader.
And I remember when he first came into the room, just his presence. He was maybe 6'4", 6'5", tall guy, but came in with just such a calm, such tranquility around him.
He's a master technician, and he was really good at not only doing the work, but helping you do the work, teaching you how to do the work, teaching you so that the work you were doing would get better and better and serve more and more people. And I think that was his goal, and that was certainly our goal, was to serve as many people as we could.
I'd say his value on the board was the technical expertise was tremendously valuable, but probably many orders of magnitude more valuable was his disposition, his thoughtfulness, and I'd have to say his sense of humor.
I spent a lot of time with him traveling the country. We would different presentations that we would do as an organization. Ernest was there to support, advocating for these types of programs. He was tireless with that, and hence why he spent 30 years with Neighborhood Housing Services of America. He was passionate about this work, and because he knew that it was necessary. There was nothing else in the country like it.
And one of the great values that Ernest brought was this ability to help everyone cut through all the emotional haze, all the things that were clouding our judgment and our vision about the direction we should go. And he could just sort of simply paint the landscape for everyone and really help us make not only a good decision, but perhaps the best decision.
I found him to be very inspirational, and he inspired confidence in others to do the work. He learned what your mission was, and he kind of became part of it. And I think that's why he was such a good fit for VCCDC. And why he served as such a good board member, because he was so committed to organizational growth and to making sure that organizations could do their work and do it well.
Families that, for cultural reasons, didn't believe in debt, didn't have a lot of credit, they would look down upon. And through Earnest, through Neighborhood Housing Services of America, they knew that that was a cultural reasoning for that, and that that doesn't mean because you have no credit means you have bad credit. That wasn't the case. They paid all of their bills on time. And it was an ideology that we're going to save until we're able to afford to purchase something. We won't get ourselves into debt. Ernest understood that and advocated for that.
He was such a touchstone for me and such just a great guy to talk through the issues that I view him really, I viewed him then and I still view him now as a mentor. I think if I was guiding the organization through those challenges, Ernest was guiding me. So I think he deserves a lot of the credit for where we are today.
I think he would be very proud. To me, it's the perfect legacy award. The name of it is just right: excellence in community support. I mean, he was a great man. He was a great community advocate. He was passionate about revitalizing and strengthening communities. So to me, this award represents who he was at the kind of heart and soul level. And so I think he'd be very proud of it.
Finally, upon reflection, given that this is a similar story told and retold by hundreds and even thousands of siblings, you won't be surprised to hear that Ernest continued being in my heart even after he moved across country to California. Who said that nights require close physical contact anyway? The main thing, Ernest, over many years, was consistent as an outstanding role model. There's so much love in my heart for him. In fact, his spirit will always remain with me because his caring energy helped shape most of my life. I'm Jackie Basquette Hayward. I'd like to thank all of you for giving this outstanding tribute to my brother Ernest. It is quite an honor. He would be very proud of it. We are very proud of this acknowledgement. Thank you.
And we are proud to present City of Oxnard with a 2021 Ernest Basquette Jr. Award, Excellence in Community Support. Please help me welcome the City of Oxnard's Mayor, Pro Tem Brian McDonald.
We're very honored to be here. I'm very honored to be here as the Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Oxnard on behalf of the Mayor, the City Council, and City Management. And there's a saying that good leaders surround themselves with good people. These are some of my good people here that make this possible. Through our relationship with VCCDC, we're able to better serve our community. And so it's a blessing to get this award. It's a blessing to have good staff. I will give you the shortest acceptance speech from a politician you probably ever heard. Thank you very, very much.
Michael McGuire served as the president and chief executive for 4 different community banks in the past 30 years of a 40-year career in the banking industry. Mike became a nationally recognized authority in the area of real estate finance with a special focus on affordable housing. Mike was born on April 24, 1946, in Portland, Oregon. He went to Portland State University, where he completed the pre-med program. While taking a break from school in order to save money to study medicine at Stanford University, Mike was drafted into the U.S. Army in 1967. His 2-year enlistment included a tour of duty in Vietnam. In 2001, Mike became board president of VCCDC and continued its mission of advocating for affordable housing and developing economic opportunities for America's underserved communities. Mike McGuire died on October 17, 2018 from cancer, which was attributed to Agent Orange that he was exposed to during his tour in Vietnam. Mike believed that stable housing was the foundation for a successful life. His association with VCCDC was a match made in heaven.
He was always there trying to groom and bring people up with him. It was not the Mike show, it was the team's show. And I felt he always made me feel like I could do even more, and he was there right beside me to make sure that I succeeded in what I wanted to do at the bank. And that's a trait that you don't see in every leader, and Mike was a leader.
He came home from Vietnam, and he saw some of his comrades on the streets homeless. And he had been through some nightmares, the worst of, combat possibilities. And he came home and he immediately went to work, and he saw these dear souls, as he described them, on the streets, clearly damaged by their experiences. And he felt that it was his obligation, having somehow made it through mostly whole, to do what he could about housing, because it was his motto as a banker and through life, that if you didn't have respectable, appropriate, stable, safe housing, you could never live up to your potential.
There's always a question about why was he able to put things aside? That someone that had fallen into addiction or homelessness had the same experience he had. And it was interesting that I don't think he ever thought that it was because he was special or different. It was that there was a series of circumstances in the support network that helped him get past that. And I think that drove a lot of his mindset, which was that we all have the capacity to fall, and we all deserve having a support network that can help you get past that. And I think he saw his own personal experience and his ability to get past it, not because of some extraordinary ability he had, but because of the people in the network that was around him to help. And I think he felt a strong sense of obligation to create that for others.
Mike didn't look at it only from the dollars and cents equation of the project. He was an involved community member himself. And so he understood the obstacles that families faced in finding safe, decent, quality, affordable housing. And it was that personal mission that I believe caused him to join the organization and help the organization fulfill a shared goal.
One of the other traits of my dad was that he really recognized the power of creative mind and people together. And when the VCCDC board opportunities were there and that group was there, he found a lot of inspiration in the people he was around. So there's the old adage that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And to be able to be surrounded by a group of people that had like-minded values and different perspectives to do something for the good of the community really aligned with who he was as a person. And I think for him, it was both an opportunity and a privilege to be in a group of people that inspired him and where he felt like he could help implement change.
I want to really say something about the people within the organization, Berta and so many others, whom he admired. He saw their intellect, their leadership capacity, and also their compassion. And so, again, about trying to encourage people, an organization to be all that they could be, he saw that at every level in VCCDC, and of course felt like that was a place he wanted to dedicate what he had to contribute.
A sense of moral obligation, I would say, more than anything else. And so a moral obligation to be a community member meant a lot to him.
The need is endless. And so watching the growth, watching the expansion of the mission even, watching the success of the programs within the organization, he would be so pleased. And I'm sure he is.
There's probably going to be a lot of people in the room who knew my dad well, and maybe people that didn't and only saw him in passing. And the person that you saw in passing was articulate and confident and seemingly unfazed by a lot of things in life. I can tell you that the person I knew would have been pretty emotional about the award. There was a softness to Mike McGuire that not everybody got to see. And this is the kind of thing where he would have sat on his porch with his cat buddy and really reflected on what it meant. And it would have meant a lot to him. I'm sure he would have gotten up if he was there and said something to deflect the attention from him. But I know without question what it would have meant to him personally.
Thank you, and join me in watching this short video to congratulate Teresa for this tremendous Michael McGuire Award. I wish I would have known him. He sounds like an amazing, fabulous person.
Thank you. I am so honored to receive the Mike McGuire for Community Partnership Award. It's just kind of the culmination of a career of over 20 years. And I'm very excited about receiving it and all that it means. And I wanted to thank some people who helped me in my work in serving communities, and that's Connie Baker Wolf, who hired me at RCAC. I've just retired after 18 and a half years, and she allowed me to work with many, many communities around the western part of the United States, encouraged me to go into leadership and training. I was on the internal training team, and also to Judy Hunter, who was our person who brought on board the housing counseling program. And Judy and I worked together on many things throughout California. We did the National Foreclosure Mitigation Counseling Program and the Keep Your Home California, which is where I met the people at VCCDC, and an amazing group. They're one of our top performing subgrantees, and working with Berta and Kylie and Gabriella and those before them have just been amazing. They're very professional. It's a very professional group. So to get such an honor from this group means even more to me. And then the last group I'd like to thank is my team. You can't do it alone. It does take a village. And Debbie Baranchuk and Donnelly Brooks have just been kind of my right and left arms in getting work done and helping our communities. So, I'm just so thrilled to have received this award. I've just moved from Denver to Austin in retirement to be closer to my brand new grandson. And I'm looking forward to some opportunities here to do some volunteer work, whether it's with affordable housing or housing counseling. But I do want to make sure I become a part of the community. I think it's important, and I look forward to that opportunity as I start the next chapter in my life.
Well said. Thank you again, Ms. De La Cruz, and thank you, of course, Ms. Wardwell.
Rodney Fernandez became a local, state, and national icon in the housing, community, and economic development arena. He was the founder and executive director of Cabrillo Economic Development Corporation for 30 years, developing over 1,700 homes in Ventura and Santa Barbara counties. Rodney was born in Gallup, New Mexico, and as a child was so asthmatic, his doctors urged his parents to move to a healthier climate. At the age of 4, his family moved to Los Angeles. He graduated from Cal State Los Angeles in 1968 and later received a master's degree in Community Economic Development Management. In 1977, advising the farm worker families at Cabrillo Village in Saticoy, he inspired the families to halt the bulldozers and prevent the destruction of their homes. In 1978, he started working for Cabrillo Improvement Association and founded Cabrillo Economic Development Corporation in 1981. Rodney believed in leadership development and community empowerment as a means of achieving the goal of social and economic justice for the least of those amongst us. Through Rodney's vision, thousands of families' quality of life have been improved. They now live in homes that offer a safe, healthy, and decent, affordable living environment.
We are proud of the impact of our work on individuals, families, and neighborhoods. The stories of the families in this film will reveal how affordable housing positively affects people's lives, not only today, but in the generations to come.
Rodney Fernandez died on October 25, 2013, at the age of 68. His vision of community building and home ownership for the less fortunate continues to inspire a new generation of affordable home advocates.
Rodney was an idea kind of guy. He had great ideas. He could envision them. He could look down the road 5 years.
Rodney's vision was to make sure that everyone had a decent home to live, especially for the kids. He had a very special heart for kids, and he wanted to make sure that by providing a safe, decent environment, that other opportunities would come out and provide kids with a better education, or had the opportunity to a better education, health, everything that having a home does to an individual or to a household.
I think that was his focus, his hope for outcome. But he also understood power and how to assemble the people around him who were powerful. And I think that was the bridge that he enabled things to get into the community that otherwise wouldn't have arrived there.
He was interested in teaching people how to fish. I mean, you could feed a day, you could give a fish to a person, and that person can eat for a day. Rodney was interested in teaching you, and that's his mentoring, teaching you how to fish so that you could eat for a lifetime. And Rodney was good at that. His manner of doing things was soft, but it was precise, and it was on point.
His belief in people, empowering people, feeling people that they could be empowered to do things, to make a difference within an organization, in the community, just opening those doors and really trusting people.
He really wanted to bring and show the community members or the community leaders why is there a need for affordable housing. And he brought like some experts from all over the country and also the state of California to bring and, kind of showcase and create more awareness in the community. What's happening in a community similar to Ventura County across the nation, and how we can replicate those models and bring affordable housing.
And from there, we took off. We were a staff basically of 5 or so. We were small. By the time Rodney left in 2012, we were at 88 full-time positions, and I think we had like 20 part-time positions. So we had become an institutionalized body.
Leadership is scary because in community development, if you're being taken seriously, you're going to get attacked. So you have to get prepared for the fact that the constituency you're working with has one view and the powers to be have a completely different view. The county, the banks, the philanthropists, and he was able to reconcile those. He had a unique skill in doing that.
My dad describes him as, Rodney, he's an angel. He was an angel of justice. And that's how I would describe him as well. Not angel just to the community, to all the families that he helped provide a house, a home to, but to all his staff and employees who he opened the door, and he let us believe in ourselves.
Bertha was groomed by Rodney, to kind of really progress, but she kind of exceeded expectation. I even feel like, Rodney probably just gave her the inspiration, but she took it to another level. And the credit and also the mentor as Rodney to her, I think, she really, made a big difference, and she followed in his footsteps to give back to the community. His legacy kind of lives through Bertha's organization, Ventura County Community Development Corporation. What he would have really liked to see, I think, it came alive with her organization.
I think Rodney would be so proud of our accomplishments. Of our leadership, our board, our team, and everything that we have done. I think he's smiling right now at VCCDC for continuing his legacy, for honoring him, not necessarily him as a person, just as a person, but also everything that he did for the community. And he probably knows how much he's missed by a lot of us here.
There you go. El ángel de la justicia.
Gracias y muchas gracias a VCDC and Bertha Garcia and her team, her staff, her board. I really appreciate this.
I've been very blessed to work under the leadership of dedicated, compassionate individuals, many of whom have served numerous years on our board of directors. To my bosses, a mis jefes, muchas gracias for your support.
Berta, on behalf of the board and your staff, we want to thank you for your 20 years of dedication to this organization. 20 years ago, I was much younger. We looked at those pictures. None of us have aged at all. You haven't aged.
Thank you for that.
But you had a vision, and you set out to accomplish that vision, and you did it. And here we are 20 years later, and countless people have been helped by what you set out to do. And so thank you, Berta, for your dedication.
Thank you, Ted. So thank you again. Congratulations again to VCCDC. And let's keep celebrating. So thank you. Muchas gracias y buenas noches.